Okay, so we have our St. Louis cut spare ribs. And you got this little flap here, so the chain meat. We're gonna cut this off because we don't need it. It's just gonna burn. So, and you know, save it for like your beans and stuff. You know, it's good. It's just that when I'm doing these ribs here, I don't need it. So I'm gonna cut this off. This little flat chain here. Get it off of there. Okay, now we're left with our rib here. Not stuck with it, but we're left with the rib. Take this excess fat off. And then you want to remove the membrane. You know, so I'm using a little butter knife, you know, to get up under the skin. I know you can't really see it, but there are so many videos, you know, on YouTube about removing the membrane. You know, there's no real need for me to do it here. So I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Just pull it off using paper towel to get some good grip. Pull it across. There we go. There's still a little bit left up here. Get a little more paper towel so I can get a good grip. And some people don't remove the membrane. They leave it on, or they may score it. And if you score it, I mean, that's fine. You know, I'm just one of those ones that remove the membrane. Some people don't even score it. You know, it's your prerogative, you know. So these little bits here, cut these off because they're just going to end up burning because they're just dangling. Alright. A little bit more fat here. I mean, this is soft tissue fat, so I could leave it because it's going to render down. As a matter of fact, you know what, I just may leave it. Now I'm going to cut it off. Go ahead and cut it off. See how soft it is? It's just like pulling. That would render. If I had left it, it would have. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put some mustard on it. I mean, I use mustard as a binder. If you watch some of my other videos, you know I'm pretty fond of mustard. You don't have to use a binder. I mean, you don't have to use mustard. I mean, you can use olive oil, you know, any kind of neutral oil you could use. You could just use water if you want, just something wet that's going to allow your seasonings to stick. So this is my own blend. Make sure it's covered nicely. And for as long as we're going to cook the ribs, you won't taste the mustard. Not at all. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, be generous with it. Straws by hand. Turn them over. Okay. More mustard. You don't need a lot of mustard. You know, just enough to like wipe it around, get into the nooks and crannies so that your rub or your seasonings will stick. That's all you're doing. Nothing more, nothing less. Get this on this side going. All right. What we want. Okay, now we're gonna let this sit while we warm up the smoker. Also, you could let this sit up to an hour if you want, you know, or you could have wrapped it, put it in the refrigerator overnight for even better results. But I'm gonna let it sit here. While the smoker gets ready, and it's not really going to take an hour for the smoker to get ready. Probably looking at about 30 minutes. But that will give this time to tack up and let the salts and the sugars do their magic. All right, it's time to put this on the grill in the smoker. Yep, you can see how it's all tacking up. Yep, the rub's all nice and tacky, and that's what we want. So let's get this bad boy on the smoker. This bad boy on the smoker. Put the thicker side close to the fire. Just like that. And you want to press it together. And you press it together because the way it's sitting in here is the way it's going to cook. So I'm going to kind of squeeze it together. And it'll cook just like that. Bones should be pretty straight. All right. Now I'm going to add some cherry wood and some apple wood. And we will be ready to get this going. Okay, we're going to add some more charcoal. Spend about an hour. And add some more briquettes. Alright. I'm going to add some hickory this time to the briquettes. And some cherry. Close that down. Yep. And what I'm using to spritz, this is apple juice and apple cider vinegar. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours. It's enough smoke for this. I'm gonna bring this inside so we can wrap it. All right, look at that. Looks good. Okay, let's get this rib wrapped. All right. Take our rib, put it in the center here. Take these little bits, these dangly bits. Hate those. Anyway. Let me focus. Okay, so we're gonna add some honey to it. I like my ribs to be a little sweet, you know, just a little bit. And then we're gonna add some butter. So I like to use squeezed butter, it's just easier, you know. We'll squeeze butter to it. Oh. And then we're gonna add some brown sugar. Brown sugar, sprinkle it in the hand, sprinkle it on there. Get that on there nice, good to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over and do the same thing to the other side. Yeah. Don't worry about the mess. Okay, we're gonna start off honey. Okay, with the honey. And you don't have to put as much on the back side because you got the front is so covered. But that's entirely up to you. Add the butter. If you don't have the squeezed butter, you know, regular butter will work fine too. You know, you're not trapped in a box. Brown sugar. All right. Take this glove off here. And last but not least, the spritz. Give it a little bit of spritz. A little moisture in there. A little more moisture. Alright. Now I want to wrap this. So you wrap it tight. Wrap it tight. And I like to lay mine meat side down. That's why I wrapped it like this. And we're gonna put this back on the grill. And this is gonna go on the grill for 2 hours. See you in 2 hours. So now I'm gonna make my barbecue sauce concoction. For the ribs, I'm using Famous Dave's Rich and Sassy today. Famous Dave's Rich and Sassy. And I'm going to cut that with some apple juice. Right, the little sweetness that the apple juice is going to give. So I cut that with a little apple juice. And that's what we're going to put on our ribs. We're going to take them out of the foil now and then give them one last hour of cooking. We're going to unwrap this guy. Okay, we're going to unwrap this guy. Yeah, see the juices. I'm all gloved up for protection. I'm going to give it one more hour of cooking. Got some pull away from the bone, which is nice. Ooh. This juice, we'll just get this out of the way. We don't want this right now. All right. Take this glove off because I don't want to dirty up my brush. There's no need for that. So let's baste this, barbecue sauce on it. Rich and sassy. That's what we want. Then we'll come back in about a half hour and do it again. Take a look at those ribs. Get a closer look. Yeah, see that? See the pullback on the bone? Yeah. That's exactly what we want. All right, it's time to go get the ribs. Be right back. All right, let's put these ribs on here. Yeah. I'm gonna let them sit there just a minute. Maybe about 5 minutes. And then we're gonna cut into them. Here we go. The ribs looks good. They look very good. Tasty. A few more minutes. Okay, let's get this bad boy cut up. I like to double cut mine. I'll explain that to you. So I cut right next to the bone. Look how tender that is. Just cuts right through. See, you can see the smoke ring. Nice, right? But what I do is I don't cut between the bone. I skip a bone and go right next to the other bone. Cut straight down. And when I do that, look at the size of the ribs you get. See that? And you know, you always have little ones that want to mess with your ribs. So the next bone I cut right next to it. And what that gives you is a thin cut. See thin? So you get a thin one and a really, really thick one that's double cut. And that's what I want. And that's how I do it. So that way the adults can have their ribs. See that? Double cut. See that? Adults can have their ribs. And if you want to give ribs to, you know, little kids, to toddlers, and you don't want to worry about them wasting it, you know, you give them the thin cut. See that? So it all works out well. Everybody wins. See that? Then we're going to cut the rest of these up. And as you get close to the end, you may have to do a two bone, which is fine. You know, see, in this cut here, it's big, but there are actually two bones in it. You see that? And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. The end, cut the end off. And I'm gonna taste a piece of this one. Look at that. Look how it's just, yes. Taste it. Oh yeah. That's good. So yeah, try the recipe out. Try the technique. I know you're gonna enjoy it. That being said, this is a very happy Shara Shara, and I am out. Oh man, delicious.